what you said does not justify how she feels also. What he did to her may not feel like it affected you, but affected people around her also, right? Because now, they have to keep an extra eye out on her and everything like that. Not only that, we don't know Mike. By the looks of what Mike came up here and tried to say and try to protect himself and try to say what he justified what he did to her, he could be doing that to other women. So you don't know that. So
and now it's a bunch of speculation going on about Mike's situation. Y'all, can y'all get back to the topic? We're not centering Mike in this.
I was just about to say, like, even healthcare, and that's the thing, because it shouldn't even be just about me either. I respect you, Nerdy. I love you. But even with my story being shared, the initial question was, can you be friends with your abuser? And I think like somebody said earlier, if the topic's about the abused, forgiving their abuser, we shouldn't be centering a man. We should be, and not even just a man, but a man that admittedly told us that he was an abuser. We should be centering the survivors in this conversation.
Exactly.
And
by the way, it ain't just Nerdy too. So don't come at Nerdy either, because it ain't just her. A lot of y'all keep coming up doing the same thing.
And I'm gonna say this too. Y'all know these type of topics, and the only reason I'm up here is to help Diamond out. Y'all please let people finish their points before you reply, because y'all know these type of topics, people be emotional. Just stay muted while somebody talking, and just let them finish and get the points out. That's all I'm saying.
Diamond, just let me know when I can engage in the conversation. That's all, ma'am.
You can go ahead and go.
I'll be honest. I am 44 years old. My father had done unspeakable things to both my mother and myself. So I do understand the Black women that have survived, and I thank y'all all for making it through. I am still affected to this day. I have PTSD. I'm actually scared of Black men, especially when they raise their voice, because that usually means an altercation will occur. The mental damage that abusers do to both the women and the children around them will affect them for the rest of their life. I am still not right, and if I ever met my father again in person, it would not be good, because I spent the rest of my life training myself to be able to fight, because at the time I couldn't do anything because I was a child. Now that I'm a man, I am hyper vigilant all the time. I'm constantly squaring up or seeing what people are doing, and it's maddening. And the fact that I am still here on this planet and have not, be blunt, unalive myself is a miracle. I've seen things as a child that episodes of Dexter pretty much match. He was a gangster. He was part of the Jamaican posse, and he did horrible things in my presence. And I am still affected to this day. So no, I could never be friends with an abuser. I will probably become the monster that he was. Because when one hunt monsters, one become a monster themselves. I have made sure that I have never laid hands on a woman ever. I've also have been in a relationship where I've told them that I wish to be a family man, but I cannot discipline your child because I do not want to continue that generational curse. And if anybody have questions about what happened further, I will be more than willing to answer questions, and I yield the rest of my time. Once again, Diamond, I want to tell you I appreciate you. I've been following you for a hot minute, and I am very happy for your success and your gala. I'm sorry, man. And your gala. I'm sorry. I'm starting to get choked up. But yeah, the abuse continues. The after effect continues forever. It will not end. And sorry. On that, I yield the rest of my time.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, go ahead. Alex, you want to go ahead?
No, I'm good, Diamond. I'm just hearing everybody out. I'm just hearing everybody out. I mean, outside of me, I want to know if there's anybody else that was friends with a abuser or still is friends with a abuser.
Let me know. Go down.
Well, go ahead. I was just gonna go ahead.
Okay. Hello, Diamond, and to the panel. Well, I gave one of my abusers, one of my children, daddy, but my other abuser, I ended up unaliving him because he broke into my house after I had a restraining order against him. So it's been like 20-some years ago. I still have a son for him, though. But it was like...
You said your first abuser, you caught a body?
Yeah, my second.
No, second.
My first
Okay.
son, daddy, we still friends. But my second son, daddy, I end up unaliving him because
so your first son's father was an abuser?
Not my first son, my second son, daddy was. Then the third son I had, his daddy was the one I unalived.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like two of them. It was two of them, but the older one, the second one, I'm still friends with his father. Even though he was a bruiser, I'm still friends with him. But the third one, that's the one I unalived. So,
okay, let me get these messages out. His wife put her hands on him. Is she an abuser?
Who they talking about, Diamond? They talking about Mike?
I think they sit on my mic, yeah.
I mean, do you cut hair one time? Does that make you a barber?
Check Instagram. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Someone said someone wants to drag Mike, but still follow James. Be for real. Someone said, Alex, are you still cool with him for the pickle?
No, I'm not having sex with him anymore. And the other one that was putting his hands on me, he's 6 feet under. But thank you for giving them our money.
Somebody said Mike came up on the panel saying everyone should forgive their abusers before they even brought up his situation. Him knowing his situation don't get to tell survivors what they should do. That's the mindset of an abuser. I'm sorry. Consequences that don't have a time limit. That's why they're consequences. You can't say it was 10 years ago, nigga, some consequences give motherfuckers life in jail. Okay, go ahead.
The thing is, once you abuse somebody and you have put hands on them and you have instilled fear in them, you literally give them brain damage due to the fact of how much cortisone be going through that person's brain. And it literally changes the chemical balance in one's brain due to the fact of the abuse and the fear and contemplating when the next hit going to come, or is this going to be the last one, and whatever. It literally changes the brain chemistry, and it's a forever thing. So how can someone forgive somebody that literally caused them permanent brain damage and what have you? And those who choose to be friends with their, that's on them. But for me personally, there's no way that I would ever be friends or have a relationship with my father based upon what he done. And I'm missing out because I have brothers and sisters I've never met due to the fact that there was so much fear of, because he almost took out my mom. There was so much fear that we had to have my whole school was on lockdown. There was precautions, phone call. I was guarded because he said he was coming to get me no matter what. And my grandmother does not play, and she had her pew ready, and my mom was the same way. So, once you abuse somebody, it's an everlasting thing, and you do not recover from it ever because the damage is permanent. You might not see it up on the person's face anymore, but internally and in their mind, they are forever scarred. And the person who said the comment in the cash is completely right. And that Mike person, I don't care if it was 10 years ago or it was yesterday. Once you've done that, you've damned yourself. And there is no excuse.
Okay, so I got another message. They said, ladies, like in a recovering alcoholic, he can be sober for years. He's still considered an alcoholic. He needs AA to stay sober. An abuser is still considered an abuser Even if he haven't hit a person for years, they need counseling. If their life, they need counseling in their life to stay sober. Hopefully, Mike is still in counseling.
Diamond, one of the dudes. Let me, Miss Nietzsche, I'm gonna be real. I swear to God, real quick. To that Cash App message, years after that, I went through the incident where we was throwing down in the house. I ended up reconnecting with that person, and one of the first things that they came out their mouth when they got upset with me was, "I need to leave right now, or I might end up killing your ass." That's literally the words that came out that person's mouth. So I agree with whoever just sent that Cash App, but he was able to fake the funk, but they show who they are down the line. Again,
is it
my condolences, man, for you going through that. That's all I wanted to say.
You can't stop Nietzsche like that. Go ahead, Nietzsche.
Okay, so good morning, Diamond. Good morning, everybody. There's a few things you can cover on this topic, and I want to elaborate on a few. 3 weeks ago, my sister-in-law, 4 weeks, I'll say, my sister-in-law was murdered. My husband's sister, mother's child. And so there are a lot of things that I was on the phone, and it's so crazy that I left for an hour, because when I left, we were talking about D crazy ass. But I come back and we're talking about DV. So I'm on the phone with somebody, and we're talking about the perfect time that I wanted to come out on the internet and discuss the happenings to my sister-in-law and the areas of life that we have to pay attention to. I don't know where we are in the subject, but can I elaborate? Somebody said off topic. I might be off topic to you, but I pay attention before I ever open my mouth. Maybe you should. A lot of things have been said, trigger warnings. Let me say this first. If you are listening to a subject because in a DV subject, you have to unpack everything. You have to unpack the victim, the person that done it to the victim, and everything. We've never seen so many, men taking these women's lives like they do. And these are our grandchildren that are coming up to deal with these men. So you have to unpack the person that's even unalive in the individual. Why won't you let go? So if you're in a moment where it's a trigger and you are a survivor, you haven't really survived the storm. Because you should be able, at some point, use it to help another woman to get out of it. So I'm just listening to this. Men and women that abuse aren't dealing with the mental. That's something that needs to be unpacked in this. Like Mr. Dark said, is he using his testimony? Or did he go out and beat another woman? His trigger is going to be positive. So you cannot get on these stages, y'all, and want to just touch on the brim of it and not go to the whole loaf of it. You can't. There's no way. A woman needs to hear how to survive. And a man that's being abused. They need to hear all of it. How did you come out? Don't be triggered and not be able to help somebody survive these damn storms. Some women aren't even able to speak about it. Or men. So I don't really know where we are in the conversation. I'm only elaborating on what I'm listening to. A lot can be unpacked with this story. So seek counseling. Seek counseling. And let me tell you something else. Are you really delivered from your trauma? If you fought back and didn't find a way of escape, what's the way of escape from even you being able to leave? Like today on the phone, somebody just said, I want to be able to talk about this, but women aren't going to listen because me as a man telling a woman when to know how to be quiet, because how far is this mental man going to go? A woman's going to say, no, I have the right to defend myself. I have the right to, he ain't going to make me shut up. But what happens when you physically have to shut up for the rest of your life because you the big bad wolf in the room? A lot comes with this topic. And I'm sorry, we don't want to face it. Even the situation with Tea Time, I wasn't there to listen, but I heard a lot of people say that he was saying, shut up. Stop talking. a lot of times being brave is walking the fuck away and shutting up. It don't mean you the weakest link in the room. You're saving yourself. So I see some of y'all don't know how to get on these topics like, oh no. Yes, AP, let me tell you something. My sister-in-law that was murdered, you have to face reality. You have to face it. No, it's not her fault. But how far do you really go with it when you're dealing with a person that ain't unpacked and dealt with their mental? So everybody has their own opinion about this, but men and women, see, all y'all heard was the woman part, but it's men that need to know how to shut up too when they're dealing with an abusive woman. Period.
I agree.
Period.
And
Period.
Thank you, Ms. Nietzsche. Thank you.
Period. All y'all gonna hear is the woman. All y'all see, y'all that said wow and all that, y'all didn't listen to the first part of it. All y'all heard was this part right here. Is when do you be quiet and walk away to save your life instead of saying, "Oh, I hit that nigga back." Like these men are out here taking women lives.
Miss Nisha, when I shared that though,
No. I'm not talking Alexandria. I wasn't here when you talked, so I can't speak. So listen, I wasn't here when you spoke. I'm only talking on what I listen. Nobody is victim blaming anybody. That's y'all simple. I'm talking to the comments now. That's y'all simple-minded individuals that won't face reality. Sometimes being quiet can save your life. Sometimes not seeing who the biggest and the baddest in the room could save your life, so you can teach your like. I'm gonna make up, but when I touch on it for real, don't come to my live, because we're not gonna want to hear the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Y'all want somebody to tiptoe around this conversation, but I'm telling you, ain't nothing wrong with walking away and saving your damn life. And that's my 2.2.
Wait a minute, your 2.2 ain't done yet. You ain't answered the question. The question of the topic was, could you be friends with your abuser? There you go, darling.
No, not genuinely. No. Why? Like, I'm not friends with my abuser. I was abused.
And what she said is correct. I agree with, because women and men, when that person snap and you see that killer instinct in their eyes, and there is a look, you keep talking, you might not make out the room. Now, I have personally had to go to another state to protect a woman who was being stalked. I even had to hire a mercenary pretty much to guard her house, and I paid for it because that guy was literally saying that he was going to unalive himself in the house. And on his birthday, he said he was going to take his car, ram it into her trailer, and basically just take everybody out and himself. So yeah, she stopped talking to him altogether and let me handle everything. And yeah, at some point, if you see that look, and everybody know that gut feeling when you know that something bad is going to happen, you just need to walk away, because you might not make it out at all. So I might say your name, Miss Netra.
Miss Nature.
Yeah.
And let me make myself clear. I'm not saying that there aren't possibilities of women trying to get out and they still be unalive. Nobody said that. Nobody is leaving that part of it out, because there are women that want to get out, don't know how to get out, and leave and unalive. I came in on a conversation of what I heard. All of it, when I say the whole loaf needs to be touched, but these are the things that we have to put in perspective. How does a woman or a man survive in this situation? Teach. Get them out. If the first conversation that your friend come to you, your sister, whatever, and they say, hey, so-and-so screamed and hollered at me and it made me feel some type of way. That feeling could turn to something very tragic. We have to tell them from the beginning what it starts with. Let me tell you why I can't be buddy with my abuser, because no matter what, something in him triggered him to disrespect and abuse me? What, something in him? He can get counseling to help himself. I can still not deal with him no more. Something in him made him abuse me or her abuse him. Let me make sure I put both of them in it, because some of y'all don't know how to, but what was it that made him physically harm you? What?
Question?
I
just got a question real quick.
I would say something though. As a man that was abused in an abusive relationship with my ex-wife for about 11 and a half years, where she would, lash out. I learned to listen when she did lash out, and she would always go back to, her dad cheating on her mom, back in the day or whatever, and she saw that and she would lash out towards me. Now I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3", can take care of myself and everything. But I learned to listen, and I agree with Miss Nietzsche as to just to keep my mouth closed. And when I did, that's when I learned to listen to what she was saying and why as she lashed out at me, she would say those things. And so, I to answer the topic of the question, I can be cordial, I can be friends with her, but I have not, voiced that to her, because ever since we've divorced, it's been, I went my way, she's went hers. But again, to answer the question, yes, I can be friends with her. I've forgiven her. And just kept my hands to myself. I kept my mouth to myself, and I just got myself out of the situation.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Can we clear this up a little bit? Are you saying that the victims of DV should be quiet and move in silence, or are you saying
Yeah, are you asking me if they? I don't think you should publicize it.
That was the route I chose to get myself out of the situation. For myself, I can't speak for anybody else. I can't speak for the survivors. I'm speaking for me as a survivor that was in a relationship. I chose to keep my mouth closed and to move in silence and to divorce and everything.
What I'm saying is like moving in silence can also be a very dangerous thing, right? Sure, you may think you may know what you may do, what happened to you, that's fine. But a lot of these women out here who do try to move in quietness are the ones who have gone the quickest. They're the ones who are like, we don't even know where they are. They're not the ones who speak out and everything like that. So that's, I feel like we just,
are we neglecting the fact that
if you know somebody is in a situation, I feel like you should talk to that person and speak for them, but not, this is a very delicate and very hard situation, but to say to move in silence like that, I feel like that's a little bit more dangerous.
Can I say this? Can I say this respectfully? It's a 50-50. I guess when you look at it, some agree, some don't. And this is a good topic. Everybody's going to have their own opinion. Somebody just said the way I said move, which is in silence, is dangerous. So moving out loud and sitting him down and talking to him and telling him, you know what, I don't want to do this. Now, he whooping you, right? We're talking about an abuser, correct? Because I know I came in reading the room, right? I love to sit downstairs. Some people said I came in off topic. Well, I guess everybody at the time was off topic. But somebody's abusing you, right? And you're going to sit that person down and say, you know what, I'm finna pack up and I'm finna get out of here. I don't want to be in this anymore. And you think that that's as safe as saying him just coming home and your shit gone and he don't know where you are? Like, it's got like, I'm just saying, which one is safer? Like, you put yourself in harm's way. I'm not gonna when I was abused, I didn't tell him nothing. Do you understand? I'm gone. Like, this shit ain't finna stop. He ain't, I'm gone. I'm finna go. Now, the person I did tell was my mother, to say, Mama, I need to get out of this. Like, this man, this not the way I want to continue to live my life. So move in silence. Like, it's a plan. Is there